Whenever you will be more than 25 feet away, or your vehicle will be out of your sight, shut the power off and take the key with you. Be sure to block your wheels when parking on a slope. When parking, make sure you don't block stairwells, exits, or fire hydrants. Although all industrial trucks have similar basic operating procedures, forklifts have special handling requirements. One reason for this is their tremendous lifting capacity. The secret behind this strength is the counterbalance weight in the back of each machine. This weight prevents a forklift from tipping forward when you pick up a load. Check your forklift's nameplate to see what its lifting capacity is. Always use a machine that is rated to handle the load that you want to move. If you are working with pallets, space the forks widely apart to better balance the load. Keeping the forks level and a few inches off the ground, move forward slowly until the pallet is seated all the way back on the forks. Once the forks are fully inserted, slowly lift the pallet about 6 inches. Then tilt the mast back to secure the load for transport. If you are lifting a pallet from an overhead rack, make sure that you lower the mast before traveling with the load. Some loads may be naturally off-center. Be sure they are stabilized before moving them. When driving a forklift, you need to remember that they are not as stable as a car. Most forklifts are supported only at 3 points. On 3-wheeled machines, the first point is the rear wheel. On 4-wheeled forklifts, it is at the center of the rear axle. The second and third points are the front wheels. This 3-point suspension forms what is called the stability triangle. Because a forklift is designed to handle loads, when it is not carrying anything, its center of gravity falls towards the back of the stability triangle, close to the first point of support. Since this is near 2 of the triangle's edges, it doesn't take much to cause the forklift to become unstable. When lifting and carrying a load, the center of gravity will shift towards the front of the forklift and the second and third points of support. Since the center of gravity is now between these 2 points, well away from the sides of the stability triangle, the forklift is generally more stable. But if a load is too heavy, the center of gravity can shift out of the stability triangle. This can cause the forklift to tip forward and make it hard to control the steering. In a worst-case scenario, you may even lose a load or damage the forklift. Another aspect of the stability triangle involves the forklift's vertical stability line, or line of action. This is an imaginary vertical line that runs through the forklift's center of gravity. As long as the line of action falls within the stability triangle, the forklift will be stable. There are factors, however, that can shift the line of action outside of the stability triangle and cause the forklift to tip. These include the placement of the load on the forks, how high the load is raised above the floor, and the angle of the floor beneath the forklift. If for any reason your forklift does begin to tip, don't jump out. You could be crushed beneath the machine. Instead, brace your feet, grab onto the steering wheel, and pull yourself tight up against it. Lean in the opposite direction from the way the vehicle is tipping. Don't try to get out of the forklift until it has come to a complete stop. Most forklifts and some other powered industrial trucks have rear-wheel steering. Be careful going around corners because the forks and the rear of the vehicle will both swing wide. Cross curbs and railroad tracks slowly and at an angle. You also need to pay special attention to slopes and ramps. When transporting a load, always keep the forks and the load uphill. This means you should back down a slope. If you aren't carrying a load, the opposite is true. Always keep the forks pointed downhill to maintain the forklift's balance. Before driving on a ramp, clear any obstacles in your path and check the ramp for puddles, ice, or snow. There should be nothing at the top or bottom of a ramp that could make a vehicle slip or tip. Be especially careful on steep inclines. Always watch your speed. Don't let the forklift accelerate if you're maneuvering down an incline. Never travel across a slope at an angle, with or without a load. Many of the ramps you will encounter are made of concrete. If you are using a temporary ramp, like a metal bridge plate, make sure that it is securely positioned and can handle the weight of both the forklift and the load. Before you drive onto a rail car, truck, or trailer, set its brakes and block its wheels. Check the strength of the floors as well. Don't forget to look for indentations and holes which could cause your forklift to tip. Once you have reached your destination, you need to follow correct procedures for unloading the materials that you are carrying. Push straight ahead until the load is a few inches short of the drop-off point. Then, tilt the mast forward so the forks are parallel to the floor and the load is directly over where you want it to land. Gradually lower the forks until the load is in place and the forks move freely. When you back away, do it slowly. Don't drag the forks across the floor. Materials are often placed in pallet racks or stacked to save space. Ask your supervisor how high you can safely stack the materials you handle. Powered industrial trucks are valuable tools that give us the strength to move heavy materials. But if they are not properly maintained or are used incorrectly, they can be deadly. To stay safe, we need to know these vehicles inside and out. Let's review. Read your truck's operator's manual and refer to OSHA's Powered Industrial Truck Standard 29 CFR 1910.178 for proper operating procedures. Examine your work environment and choose the type of industrial truck that's right for the jobs you'll be doing. Inspect your truck thoroughly before you use it. Pay attention to your machine's weight capacity and maintain the stability of your vehicle so it doesn't tip over. Stay alert and drive safely. And always make sure that other workers are a safe distance away whenever you are operating an industrial truck. Powered industrial trucks are formidable machines that can be dangerous. But by using common sense and following correct operating procedures, you can harness their strength and use them safely.